Welcome to AmericanHunter.org. This week I'm going to talk about youth hunting, and specifically how we load our guns for the youth hunting so that we don't make the young hunters recoil shy. And our two children, Jordan and Andrew, have been hunting with me since they were 7 years old. And they were not big kids, and they're still medium sized for their age, so they're not going to absorb a lot of recoil. So it's really important when you're getting them started in this great sport of deer hunting that you don't hit them with something that's too hard to handle for the size of their body. And one of the most important tips that I got was from the local game warden, and he said make sure that you're not letting them sight in and doing a lot of shooting in the yard with any kind of a gun that has much recoil. And he recommended getting them used to squeezing and aiming with a .22, and then the first time that they actually handle the bigger gun is when they're in the field aiming at a deer. And that worked really well for us. We started the kids out with the .22, they got used to squeezing and aiming, they did real well there, and then we moved up when we hunted to the 50 caliber muzzleloader. But the trick to that is loading that muzzleloader down so that the recoil that they feel when they're actually hunting isn't something that turns them away. Because they can get recoil shy really fast. And they also can get really turned away from it by the sound of the shot itself. It's so startling, and they're almost tense in anticipation of that shot. They flinch a little bit on that as well. So two things you got to focus on, and that is the recoil and the sound of the shot. And obviously with earmuffs you can cover the second part, which is the sound of the shot. That's easy enough to do. But the first part about how to manage the recoil, I took a little bit of creativity. In fact, I got the tip from a friend of mine who had been doing it with his children. He takes these 50 caliber muzzleloaders and puts a single 50 grain pellet of the 777 powder in it. And he uses the standard 250 grain saboted bullet. And basically what it does is it produces recoil that's not a lot more than the .22. I mean, it's well below what you'd expect to get from a 20 gauge shotgun, for example. But yet it's still deadly out to 100 yards. And we've had good success. The kids have been using this now for, I'd say, 6 years. Hunting with this load, and we've never had a deer that got away that we felt like we should have killed. In fact, I don't know that we've ever hit one that we didn't recover. So the load is definitely potent enough to handle any shot out to 100 yards, which is typically about as far as a youth hunter is going to want to try to manage the shot anyway. A single powder pellet. The bullet, I think, makes a difference. The Barnes expanders seem like they do pretty well, but maybe they don't expand as well as they should at that lower muzzle velocity, or the lower impact velocity. We also tried some of the shockwave bullets from Thompson Center, and they did pretty well. I think the main thing is to find out when you're buying the bullets, if you can get access to somebody, find out if they will give you the full expansion at the lower muzzle speeds. So if you're trying to get young people into deer hunting, you got to be really careful with these two things, and that's what my tip is about this week. And we love the youth hunting around here. I mean, it's so much fun to be out there in the field with the kids, and I love even watching youth hunts on television or on the web. We know that the future generations have to get started somewhere, and it's really important to get them started on the right foot. Well, I'll be back here again next week with another tip. I'll see you then right here at AmericanHunter.org.